I will be showing you a game between two 1600s on chess. So maybe they are both of them are like 1400 or 1300 on chess.com. Now, these two made a lot of mistakes. Now, if you're making the same mistakes, you are probably going to learn how to avoid them in the future, and I'm 100% sure that you're going to learn something valuable from this game. The game started with the move d4. It's a good move. Takes control of the center. You can play e4, d4, both of them are fine. Now, black plays the move g6. Now, this move is completely fine. It's like a modern defense, okay? But if you don't want to get into any bad positions, just take control of the center like him. If he played e4, you play e5. If he played d4, you play d5. But this move is still fine. And then white has the center with e4, d4 controlling a lot of the center squares. So this is really nice. And black goes bishop to g7. Now here white can develop his knight to f3, knight to c3, get the bishop out, get the other bishop out, and castle. I mean, this is just the development of his pieces. Okay, this is not attacking chess. First of all, you need to develop your pieces in a good way. Knight to c3, and now we get c5. Okay, c5 is not, I mean, it is a good move, but it gives a lot of advantage for white. I mean, yes, this move looks like a free pawn, and it is, but black's idea that after you take the pawn, maybe he wants to take the knight with a check, so that you will be forced to take back. And now look, 1, 2, 3 pawns. Having double pawns is bad. Having 3 pawns on top of each other is horrendous. But believe it or not, white is still has an advantage. But it's like microscopic, like 0.7, 0.8. And on this level, this advantage is not even there, okay? But white opted to play the move d5, advancing, and now black can take this knight and ruin the pawn structure of the white pieces, but then you can just push the pawn to c4, defending the pawns, and everything will be nice. Instead, he played the move d6, opening off with the bishop. He's not going to go there, of course, because that's a free bishop, but maybe he's preparing knight here, then bishop here. Okay, knight to g3, knight to f6, and now bishop to e2. Here, bishop to g4. Okay. Whenever you see this move, if you are pinned, like your knight is pinned to the queen, yes, put the bishop on e2. And just wait for your opponent. Wait for him to take the knight. No need to make any no need to make any time-wasting move. Like h3. Bro, if he wants to take, he will take. Sorry, that's a horrendous move. H3 is not even supposed to happen. Okay, if he wants to take, he will take. So no need to waste time on this move, right? He wasted time with this move. So just castle your king. Here, castling the king is the best thing that you can do. If you wanted to take, fine. You can just take with the bishop or with the pawn. Better to take with the bishop. You don't want to open up your king. So this move is just a waste of time. And black went back. I mean, it's just a stupid move. He went here. He was attacked, knowing that he will be attacked. I mean, this is just crazy. Look, to get better at chess, and I'm going to tell you something, nobody on YouTube is telling you this. If you want to get better at chess, ask yourself why. On every single move you want to make, why? Why do you want to play this move? Why? After you know why, think about how it will be punished. Okay? Now, black was there. Okay? He could have tried to develop his knight here, could have tried to remove this annoying pawn from the center, could have castled his king, but instead he opted to go for bishop to g4, attacking a knight. Okay, so this is his why. I want to put it here so that I can maybe take the knight. Okay, how it can be punished? Either by being ignored, like castling, or being attacked with the move h3. If you're gonna go back with the bishop after you get attacked with the move h3, you don't have a strong why you're playing this move. It's just a stupid move, right? But if he went here and white attacked him and he took, black has a strong why. At least I want to go here just to take this knight. Okay, that's a good plan. But you going here, knowing that you will be attacked, And then retreating back, it just looked crazy to me. You're not weakening his structure. You're not weakening the pawn structure. Now the knight cannot get in, the bishop cannot get in, and now white has this square. The bishop can go back. He can castle. I mean, black did nothing with this move. Nothing. So, on every single move you want to make, especially after the opening phase, ask yourself why. If you have a strong reason to do that, then think of how it can be punished. Okay? It is so simple to see that after this move, white can play the move h3, right? So either you take the knight or you don't play this move in the first place. You castle your king. Don't waste time in chess. Either you have a good reason to make a move or not. There's no in between. Plays this move, h3, he went back, and now look at the craziness from the other side. White decided to go bishop to g5. I don't know why he went there, okay? But he definitely has a reason to do so, right? He played this move knowing that the black pieces can attack this bishop by the move h6. And it got attacked with the move h6. And do you know what white played? Not bishop takes knight, he went back bishop to e3. Both of them did the exact same mistake. They don't have a strong reason why they're making a move, and they're not thinking about how it can be punished. You have to stop doing this. Believe me when I tell you this. Believe me, I'm good at chess. I'm 1995 and I have one last game to play to reach over 2000 elo. And I'm telling you this. The only way to get better at chess is to have a good reason to make a move. Why you want to make a move. And then you have to think of how it can be a bad move. How can my opponent exploit it? How my opponent can punish me? How can my opponent attack me? That's how you are supposed to think in chess. See, white could have played the move bishop to e3 right from the beginning, but he opted to go there to force this move and then went back. This is not a weakening move. This is not a weakening move. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. And the move bishop to g4 is also a waste of time. Stop wasting your time in chess. This is why you're not improving. Black castles. Finally. And now white could have castled, but he played queen to d2, attacking this pawn on h6. Black went here. And now, I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit advanced, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Whenever you see a backward pawn that cannot be defended by other pawns, only defended by a piece, here you are supposed to add more pressure on this pawn. And so now you have two pieces attacking that pawn, but there's a problem. There's a pawn in front of the pawn that you want to attack. So white was supposed to go h4, right? If black takes here, white has a lot of options, either taking this pawn or taking this pawn or taking like this. It depends on what black wants to, what white wants to do. Either taking like this, either taking with the rook, adding more pressure on this pawn, but maybe then he can push. So maybe taking this pawn first, but it doesn't matter. This is how you're supposed to add more pressure. This is how you're supposed to open up your opponent's king, right? By making this pawn push. But white did not play that. White opted to castle queenside. Okay, now we are hit with the move b5. Now you might be thinking, knight attacking the pawn, bishop attacking the pawn, only one bishop defending this. So is this just a blunder? No. Well, white thought it was a blunder, and he took. And after bishop takes, knight takes, and he thought, oh my god, I just won a pawn. Until he got struck with the move knight takes e4, attacking his queen. See, whenever you see a move like this, you're like, oh, two pieces attacking, one piece defending, so I have to take it so that in this way I'll be winning a pawn. No! Your opponent did this move for a reason. Either he blundered or either it was a plan. First of all, before thinking that this move is just a stupid blunder and your opponent is an idiot, think of ways that you will be punished. Okay? After you take this pawn, what's going to happen? Well, probably it's going to take. Okay. Then you're going to take back. Okay, now what happens? The knight here used to defend this pawn, But after you move the knight there, it no longer defend a center pawn, and also the queen will be attacked, and also the bishop will be opened. So white was not supposed to take here. I know it's crazy that the ancient is saying white has to still play the move h4, or play maybe second, a3, whatever. And I know this position is difficult, but it's definitely not taking here, because then you will be allowing the knight to take a pawn, attack your queen, and open up for the bishop. You have to look for your opponent's threats, not just for your opponent, mistakes or blunders that you think they are blunders, but in reality they are not. So now, after white takes, black takes, and knight takes here, white played queen to e2. Black went here, queen to a5, attacking this pawn and adding some pressure on the knight, but it is defended. So, and now white decided to go here on a3. Now, why this move is a mistake? Because you don't want to, from right now, yeah, there's a good move here that wins a pawn. And so try to stop the video and find the best move here for black. It's a little bit crazy, but it is a good move. And the move is, if you manage to find it, is bishop takes b2. I know it's crazy. After you take, there will be a check. When the king goes somewhere else, like maybe here, I guess, he can just lose the knight, and now black is up a pawn, and there will be a fork, royal fork actually. So yeah, a lot of stuff here. But of course black did not see that, and he went here, two pieces attacking this pawn, and so white decided to play c3. Yes, this is defending, but it's not really defending, because after black found a very good move, which is knight takes pawn. If you take, he will lose your knight. So after takes, queen takes. Now if he went here, he can just take, or maybe give some checks, but checks here. But after this, he cannot block with the knight, because that will be bad, and I'm going to show you. If white decided to block with the knight, okay, white did not lose his piece, but he will be losing the game, because after a check here, in another check, the white king is forced to move up there, in a very crazy move, c4. If you went here, congratulations, you just got mated with a damn pawn. But if you take this pawn here, some checks, and your opponent pieces are, all over your face, so you'll be losing this. And also there's this check, and he needs to move, and maybe he loses the queen. White loses the queen. So a lot of stuff here. Sorry. Oh my god, we have to go back all the way to the same position. Okay, here, after this is why he's not supposed to block with the knight, because he will be losing. He blocked with the queen. He takes the knight with a check. The king tries to run away, and now black plays this move. Knight to a6. Yes, he's trying to get his pieces into the position. He's trying to put the rook here, trying to get in. I love this. But whenever you get your up material, force trades. Force them. Like queen to b2. Okay, the queen is defended by the bishop, so after queen takes, the bishop can drop back, and now you'll be up 2 points. This is, I'm talking for the black pieces, but yeah, he played knight to a6, and now white decided to go h4. Now, if I were playing white, I would definitely will be terrified by this open file that my opponent can make use of by using the rook, getting the rook here to pin my queen. So I would definitely play like rook here, and also that will give me some squares for my king to run away, and also the other rook to get in, so that the king can escape and go here without having a rook there that's going to be trapped. That's what I was going to do. But anyway, white plays h4, and now he doesn't care about the pawn. He plays here, attacking the queen. And then we have queen here, queen to c4. Now I know this is crazy, but I think white can go here and yes, just trade the queens, and he will be trading into a losing endgame, but at least he will take this pawn and it will be not so obvious. But he went here, allowing this check. The king moved away, and now another check. And he decided to block with the knight. Now look, whenever you're in check and you can move your king, move the damn king. Okay? Whenever you have a chance, To move the king when in check, move it. Don't block it. Move it. Why moving it is the best thing? Because as you see right now, your opponent doesn't have any checks, right? Black doesn't have any kind of checks. That is very good. You don't want checks. You want to be safe. Then you will just run the king here or play the move here and put the king on g2 and then use your rook. But anyway, after this check, he blocked, and this is very bad because of this check. White moved, knight takes, pawn takes, and now the bishop is going back here. For what reason, I have no clue why he's not using his rooks. But anyway, bishop to b4. He takes here, and black, like after this move here, white decided to take this pawn. And black, without even thinking, just takes the pawn. It was like, okay, we're up material, blah blah blah. We just take a pawn. Yes, he has an active rook, but he doesn't. He cannot checkmate me with a rook. Yeah. After this move, white played queen to e4. Queen to e4, and black doesn't have any checks unless this check and that loses the queen, right? So black doesn't have any checks. But let's say right now you're playing with the black pieces, and your opponent played queen to e4. You have to think, why? Okay, why? Ask yourself on every single move you play, why? Why did white go here to e4? Right? Well, you can say, oh, well, he's attacking a pawn, and he's also threatening a dame checkmate on h7. So black did not see the bigger picture, did not see the bigger threat. And it was like, oh, my lovely, you amazing pawn on e7. Rook to e8, let me defend the pawn, and got checkmated. Got checkmated on h7, being up 2 points of material, having a killer advantage, killer position, and he's not using his dame rooks. And he opened up his opponent's rook to checkmate him. That's why you don't improve at chess. You don't ask yourself why. You don't look at the bigger picture. You don't look at what your opponent wants to do. You're only thinking about what you are seeing. This move, it is bad to see that the queen can only take this pawn and not seeing that the queen is also threatening a check with the rook. Right? It is crazy. In black, right now, has 8 minutes and 1 second. Played this move after, holy shit, after, hold on, 8, 20, after 29 seconds of thinking, 29 seconds of thinking, he was like, oh, he's trying to get to the pawn. Do I need the pawn? Oh my god, what if I push? But then he can take, but after this, there will be check. Look at the bigger picture. Don't stick your phone right in your face. Move the phone away from your eyes for a little bit. This will be good for your health, for your eyes, and also for your ability to see the entirety of the board. Okay, when you stick the phone too close to your eyes, you only see this being hanging, and you don't see this being hanging. Okay? And I have no clue how a player can spend 29 seconds after this move to only see that the pawn is hanging and he needs to defend it and get checkmated. This is madness. But what can you learn from this video is this. Every single move you play has a reason, has a purpose, has a goal. Okay? Life is a game of chess. Do you do anything in life without a reason to do so? Of course not. Everything you do has a reason. And in chess, it is the exact same thing. Every move has a reason. And then you have to think, how? How can he punish that? After white went here, which is, I want to checkmate my opponent on h7. Okay, how can my opponent punish that? Well, black can run all the way back here. Give away a pawn. Who cares about the pawn? The rook will be active. The rook will be attacking the king indirectly. You know, think of something. Think in the about the bigger picture. Don't just look at stupid and I don't know tiny little ways that you can lose the game and not looking at the huge way that you can lose the game. I know you're watching this and you're like, okay, I will never, ever allow my opponent to checkmate me like this. You might be thinking about like, okay, maybe I would play f5, maybe I would, go back with the queen to g7. Yes, this is what you're saying right now while watching this video. But while playing chess, you don't ask yourself why, and you don't ask yourself how can my opponent punish me if I play this move. That's why you're not improving. So please, every move you make has to be a good move, and you should have a good reason to play that. Number two, you have to think of how can your opponent punish that and how can your opponent respond to your move. After you thought about that, then you make a move. You don't just make a move and you're like, okay, let's just play chess and we get checkmated. Alright? Thank you so much for watching. See you in another video.